In on.
All sorts of
In,
things.
in,
Yes,
on.
about.
About. There we go. About. That's the word I was searching for. Yes.
It's really funny. Sometimes people come to me and they say, I've got this issue and I really need some help with it. And that's great. And other times people come and they say, I don't really know what the problem is, but I know things aren't quite right. So sometimes what I'm coaching people on is helping them work out what's going on now, and therefore what they want to do about it and where they want to get to. And sometimes it's much more about, okay, so you want to lose weight. I've had one client who wanted to lose weight. She'd lost weight in the past but not been able to keep it off. She knew how to go about it in terms of diets and exercise, but she couldn't make it happen. She couldn't keep it in her daily life to make it happen and keep it happening. So I work with her. I use personality profiling tools a lot. And one of the things that can be really helpful for is working out what makes people tick and what really motivates people. What is it that enables people to get things done? And for her, it was all about actually having a plan. She loved planning, she loved routine. So how do we incorporate all the things she wanted to do, taking exercise, eating more healthily, into a plan? Because that's what she liked. And once she'd got it in a plan, she could go away and do it. She knew she would follow the plan. I have other people who are much more spontaneous, and actually putting things in a plan just won't work. So we look at other ways. I had another client who wanted to lose weight, and for her it was much more about actually having a lot of different options that she could just bring in as and when it was the right thing to do. Different ways of doing exercise and different.
So she didn't like routine or structure or anything.
Didn't like
routine,
that.
right? Okay,
didn't work
so
for
it
her.
can work for.
Yeah,
everybody
in different ways, and it's just working out what makes people tick and then what's going to work for them. I've had people come to me that very often say, look, I know what I want to do. I want to do an extra run a week. I want to go swimming more often. I want to lose weight, but I just don't have the time. And so I spend a lot of time working with people on time management and dealing with things that are getting in the way of them being in control of their life and their time. And sometimes that is quite focused time management issues at work. How do you prioritise? How do you deal with interruptions and that sort of thing? But sometimes it's much bigger things. I've had one client who there was an issue at work that had happened about a year beforehand, and it was eating her up. And it was affecting her relationship at work with her line manager and colleagues. It was also affecting her relationships at home, particularly with her son. And she was feeling stressed all of the time, and she also felt that she wasn't in physical good shape. She wanted to lose weight and get a bit fitter, but she just couldn't do it because this issue was just gnawing away at her. And there's a fantastic saying by a chap called Timothy Galway, which is performance equals potential minus interference. Now, Timothy Galway was a world-class tennis player. He's an author, and he's also introduced a whole sort of coaching concept, which is that you have an inner voice and an outer voice. And your outer voice is all of the things that you're just doing. So on a tennis court, you're hitting the ball and you're watching what the opponent's doing and things. But your inner voice is the one that's going, that ball's going in the net. It's going to go out. You're never going to win this. Oh, you're up. You should have done more practice. You shouldn't have eaten that. You should have done more stretches. You should have... That little voice that's talking you down. And he says there's always some kind of interference. And with this lady, there was an interference that was going on in her life, which was, they treated me badly. They treated me badly a year ago, and I'm still angry about it. And I'm worthless. They don't value me. They don't appreciate what I'm doing. And it was affecting everything else in her life. So we spent quite a lot of time just working out what it was that had been going on and why it was that was having such an impact on her and what that was costing her in terms of her own life, because the other people in the company had moved on, so it was affecting her in a negative way. So we identified all of that, identified what her normal coping strategies are, how she gets things done, how she's been successful in the past. And with that, she then identified what she wanted to do about it, and she had a very constructive conversation with her line manager. We used some NLP and some personality profiling to help her prepare for that. And as a result of that, a knock-on effect was what she'd learned from that was she was able to translate into the relationship with her son. And she was able to use some of the same techniques and tactics in talking calmly to her son and controlling her own emotions so that she wasn't allowing herself to get as stressed or worried or worked up. And that had the rest of her family could feel the difference, but also one-on-one meant she could have a much more constructive conversation with her son. So all in all, at the end of the coaching, we had 6 sessions. She'd moved on with her work. She'd got a whole new lease of life at work, great relationship with her line manager, much more improved situation at home. And she said, now I feel able to lose weight because I'm just not so stressed, I'm not so worried.
Wow,
So
what a great success
it was
story.
A great success, yeah. Really good one, that one. Sometimes those relationship issues at home with a mother and a child can be dealt with. Their root causes are in something like issues at work, and that interference is affecting home life. Sometimes it's about different things, and then it may be that people want to talk to more of a parenting coach, somebody with more specialism in that area. It's really identifying what the problem is, what the root causes are, and what is the best way forward.
It's that identification, isn't it? And I think that we all get bogged down with whether it be a relationship issue or a sibling or a child or work, whatever it might be, or you a falling out with a friend. So many things can impact, and it's very difficult when one issue might be completely overwhelming every decision that you make, and until you can identify, because you might not psychologically realise what it actually is that's, as you say, the root of the problem. So identifying that, and sometimes it takes somebody else to identify that for you, doesn't it?
Or somebody else, or it takes you to identify it, but with the help of somebody else.
Sorry, yeah.
And that's what coaching does. Coaching is all about helping you get through whatever it is, helping you identify your solutions, helping you really get clarity on what's going on. And I do that by asking questions, reflecting back, exploring things from different angles, helping the person to look at other things that are going on for them, not just that problem. They come with a problem, but they're actually a whole person with a whole life history. So it's, okay, well, let's look at everything that's going on for you, and how are you going to get through this? Let me help you get through it. And they're coming up with the answers.
It's interesting that we're talking about this because quite a while ago I was trying to deal with 2 different things. One was weight loss and one was smoking. And I decided in the end to see a nutritionist, and I was really beating myself up about it because I just thought, I'm an intelligent woman sometimes. Why do I need to go and see somebody else to tell me what I'm doing wrong? But I did. So initially I lost some weight, not quickly. It was over a period of about 8 months. But I did that, which then gave me more confidence to put my lycra and spandex on to get down to the gym. And then because of that, it was like I had to give up smoking, because otherwise I couldn't run on the treadmill or walk on the treadmill, and B, once I worked out the amount of times that I'd pop out for a cigarette, that was the amount of time I was spending in the gym.
Yes.
Hopefully Mum and Dad aren't listening.
You know your mother is.
Yeah. But all those things, the combination of all of those things worked. But it took somebody else to help me. Yeah. And I think that perhaps some people have to get over that fact of going to somebody else for help because we don't like to.
Well, we think we have to. We think we have to cope, don't we? We think
we do.
All the rest of it.
It's funny. Sometimes people go for help and they're not able to accept the advice that they're given. And one of the areas that I work on a bit is people that are going to see, for example, a nutritionist, a physiotherapist, a chiropractor. They're told what they need to do, and it all makes perfect sense when you're in the surgery or in the treatment room, and you walk out and you think, right, okay, so I need to spend 30 minutes every other day doing exercises or going and buying healthy food, and it just doesn't happen.
No.
And it's that making it happen bit that coaching can really help with. It's like, what you've got the great intention, now let's make it happen. And build it into your lifestyle, your routine.
And sometimes it is just that voice of conscience on your shoulder that you've got to go back to that person and say, I haven't done it.
Yeah.
And then you've got... Because the only way I could ever go to the gym was to have a personal trainer. Yeah. Because otherwise I found a million excuses why I shouldn't go. But if I knew that Joe, her name was waiting for me, I got up.
On that note, I work in a local gymnasium, and I had a lady come in the other day, and I could see the look of deflation, if that's a word, on her face when she'd gone for her program and she came out, and I just thought, you're not going to come back. Because she was literally just like, I'm never going to do this 3-4 times a week. So she came out, and I saw that she had this look on her face, and I recognised that look from a few years ago. And we got chatting, and she said, it's really good. I've got this programme and everything. She said, but, I don't know whether I can do that 3 times a week. And I said, well, don't. Don't do it 3 times a week. Set yourself up that you're going to come down here 3 times a week, do the gym, get that out of the way on the first day, and then it's done. Book in for a class, do Pilates, do yoga, do Zumba, whatever takes your fancy. That's your second bit of exercise. That's an hour of hardcore exercise. And your third one, go to the pool, have a swim, sauna, jacuzzi, whatever, and relax. Spend some time just letting your body relax and absorb your surroundings. And she has been doing that.
Fantastic.
And I said to her, that's what I did. And that's what kick-started my being able to go down to gym without being bored stiff. And I will get Pat Redding doing that.
I'm going to. I am.
Well, you'll have to.
Once I've been coached
I'll be phoning
by Jane,
you.
then I'll be there when I've got my plan. So
I'll be picking you up en route to work. Come on.
Scooping round and taking me. You're just sorting out my life, Catherine, because tonight we're in a quiz, aren't we, tonight?
We are.
So I've got a quiz. I'm just because you haven't been able to do all your sports that where we started back about 40 minutes ago. You've taken up something else, haven't you, which is very exciting.
Yes.
I'm very envious.
I've taken up singing, although that makes it sound very grand, as though I can actually sing. I've always wanted to be able to sing, and when I knew that I couldn't run and I used to do a lot of very long distance cycling as well, and that was going to have to go. I thought, I need something that will give me that endorphin rush that you have after sport, and also that stress busting activity that when you just need to get out. I used to get out and go for a long run and I'd feel much better. So I needed something that would do that for me, and I spent quite a lot of time looking around to find somewhere I could go and sing, where you didn't need to audition, where you didn't actually have to be able to sing to just go along and sing. And I found somewhere at the Windsor Arts Centre at 6 o'clock on a Friday evening. There's a session called Sing Out, and anybody can go, no auditions necessary. You sing whatever songs the guy decides that's going to be. It's all sorts, from gospel, Beatles, Coldplay, all sorts of things. And it's just great fun, and I've found somebody that I can stand next to who sings the same pitch as me, and I can just about keep in tune some of the time if I stand next to her, and I love it. It's just a whole new lease of life for me.
Oh, it's wonderful. I did it when my marriage ended, and I went and had singing lessons, and because it was just something so different to do, and I agree with you, that whole endorphin thing about just being part of a choir is amazing, and I miss it. So sister of a friend of mine sings with the rock choir, I think, who are over in Maidenhead, who also sound very similar to
yes, very similar.
I need to, that's another thing on the list of my plan. Things I need to get out and do.
I think I need to.
Yeah, but I really miss it. I really miss singing like that. And I tried another choir and that didn't work, and for various reasons. So there we go. So Jane, it's been so interesting talking to you today. It's been fascinating. I could listen to you for hours. I think it's. I'm sure you're an excellent coach. So you're really easy to talk to as well, which is must be a big tick in the coaching box,
I'd
think.
say.
Yeah,
quite large.
I've enjoyed it.
Well, it's 6 minutes to 12. Where's the time gone? And Michael is outside, ready to
chomping at
come
the bit
and do the Eclectic Light Show. So just a couple of things before we play Jane's track, which is Paradise by Coldplay, which is that she's been singing with the choir, which is why we're going to play that. So one of the things is just to let you all know about the Marlow Radio Run, which is on the 27th of May.